I think I honestly sympathize with them to find themselves in a situation where they're defending the interest of a person, not a country, because South Africa has no interest in Congo to send their soldiers to die for Tshisekedi, who Tshisekedi have done nothing for his own people. He's killing his own people. I myself, my mom is in a refugee camp since '94. She hasn't gone back home. Yet, the people who killed our people are enjoying our resources back home. So, in short, South African soldiers we can give them safe passage to go. And as I said, they can go through Rwanda. That's only way they can go. As you know, Goma has no any other country's border. It's only Rwanda that they can go through. Another thing is the people who lost their loved ones in Congo. I sympathize with them, and they need to understand us. There is no any other choice but we are going home. That's all. But also, they can go through Rwanda and they can repatriate the remains of their loved ones. And we send condolences to the family of South African soldiers. We feel them. We know that they are not for their choice, but this is a survival, as I mentioned, and we are going home.
People are saying you are being supported by President Paul Kagame. How many Rwandan soldiers are in your region?
I don't know if they will trust me because they tend to trust themselves. That's what I have seen. I have never seen Rwandan soldiers in our soil. But I know they are surprised of things that has happened where the soldiers can take over the city without killing civilians.
Where do you get the arms? Where do you get the arms?
You should know this, Sophia. I believe you should. You know, only capturing Goma, not only that we got enough arms, we got even a Sukhoi they used to use to shoot our population. So every time that we engage with the Congolese soldiers, we will get more arms to supply for the next engagement with them. So this should not be in any way. People would say, oh, this is Rwanda because they have weapons. Because Congolese soldiers used to sell arms to even armed groups that are coming to kill them anyways. This is known. You know that they sanctioned the Congolese government because every arms they will buy will end up in hands of armed groups that are working now with the Congolese government. I do not understand why African people do not follow the news from their continent, but Congo is a jungle, is a place where rules of law doesn't exist.
How are you going to, if you have now captured certain parts of the DRC, how are you going to ensure that there is law and order? Because you are saying the DRC Congo is a jungle.
Definitely. Even we had a space yesterday, and there was a man. He is an analyst. He worked in the American government. He testified himself that he would choose to go in areas where we control a million times than going to government control the area. Why? Because we know where we are coming from. Our intention is not going to do things we hated, things that were done to us. We are doing defense. That's what we want to see. We want to see our country developed. We want to see people doing business in peace. Right now in the Congo, there is nothing called a country can need for it to exist. No governance, no security, no economy, no social, where you talk about schools and the hospitals, there's no infrastructure, there is environment is deteriorated. If you see like Rwindi, a place called Rwindi, when you see Virunga National Park. The FDLR destroyed animals and destroyed the trees in the park until we came, and then the animals started coming back. You can visit. I asked you. I said, come and visit. You will see the difference. You know, we do not want to tell you and believe it. We want you to come and experience it. Talk to the people. Even the people of Goma. You saw how they received our soldiers. They were very happy. Peace talks, I think you have this information that Tshisekedi said he's not going to talk to us. He will talk to Kigali. So you can let him. It's like you have a headache. Now you are treating a foot. Because you can't tell me you're engaging. I'm engaging with you right now, but I'm answering the questions of someone that I'm not even seeing in a picture. That is not going to get him anywhere. This is an issue that needed only national dialogue, peace and reconciliation, just for the internal solutions. So we have never rejected a peace talk. You remember when the East African community came in our country, our forces retreated back, and left the empty areas, and to the point where the government started occupying them, even when it was not lawful. And until then, they kicked the East African soldiers, and they said they needed SADC, some DRC, in order for them to come and do offensive. So this is where we are right now.
Are you going to retreat? SADC is meeting. If SADC says, let's have these engagements, peace talks, but retreat.
Why do we retreat? Why government cannot retreat? We are in our country. I laugh every time I hear someone from Europe retreat from Goma. And yet, their mercenaries have been there. They never tell them to retreat. They should tell MONUSCO to retreat, because MONUSCO is one of the armed group. MONUSCO is armed group. We have seen multiplication of armed groups since MONUSCO took over in '99. We didn't have more than 2 armed groups. I think it was Muyaya and FDLR. Now we are talking about hundreds of them since they arrived in the area, killing our cows, raping our women, burning our villages. None of those, whether you see in Ituri what happens in Ituri, whether you see in what happens in Murenge, whether you see in what happens in North Kivu, you will realize that MONUSCO was there to take the minerals. They were always singing, oh, M23 is fighting for minerals. But you know, this is our country. Whether there is minerals or not, it's our country. We cannot run away because there's a minerals, so we can't claim our right to exist. Okay? If there's a minerals, so what? It's our minerals. So who should really retreat from DRC is MONUSCO and whoever linked to MONUSCO. Because MONUSCO brought misery than anyone ever existed in DRC. It is the first time we have seen that UN can fight along with genocidaires, armed group, and mercenaries, and still call themselves UN. You know that since 2013 we were not in Congo, but there were something called this military government. They called it État de siège. This is where the Tshisekedi government installed the military governors. So government, basically, the government became military. And the MONUSCO have never engaged with FDLR, which was few kilometers from them. And our people have been dying, kidnapped, and this. MONUSCO was there. So who should really retreat from Goma? Is it the people who are bringing peace or the people who are causing havoc? So in short, we are not going anywhere, and everything else have been tested. In 2013, they said, oh, get out of the Goma, and people did it. Did Goma get peace? Did our people come back? So is human right they always think about for some people and not for the other? Doesn't UN know that we have hundreds of refugees outside the Congo since '94? What did they do? How long do they plan for us to go back? But I will tell you why they will not do that. Because when there is refugees, UNHCR workers will get employment. When there is chaos, they're thinking about these thousands of MONUSCO who are going, because we are solving the issue of peace, like the insecurity, in days. Like you will never hear this nonsense of people dying for no reason. And when they do that, they have no reason to stay in Congo. So they're scared that we are going not only to expose them because they did nothing with the resources they have and so many military personnel, but they're going to also lose employment. Those who are executives there, they're coming to be cleaners here in their own countries. This is why South Africa should not engage here, because South Africa, we take it as a role model for Africa. They're supposed to stay that way. And they actually engage in dismantling these mafias that comes to steal our resources, while they're accusing those who are defending to the just existence, that they're the ones looting the resources.
So, you know, that's the sad part of the story. How can you understand that the President Kagame can give to his army the authorization to attack peacekeeper for United Nations, to attack a soldier from some DRC?
No, that you have already pointed out to. You even saying the international community must take action. But I'm saying, tell us, how is our troops? We are told they are in a dire situation.
Anytime. You know, actually in Goma, no one is in a good situation. And that's why we are working with international community to find a solution more quickly, because Rwandan army is committing massacre in the city. But what I've heard for the past days, we know that there is a South African soldier inside, some DRC side. We should thank them, because they've been there, they've been very helpful in order to protect populations. And we know now there is a kind of discussion about the way we will make sure they're not attacked, or they're not victim of any kind of attack from Rwandan side. And that's the point today. And we are working, even today we have a meeting with MONUSCO, with all the government, to see the way we can give answer to all those soldiers we deserve to have to be in condition of accomplishing their duty. We are working on that, and you can continue to watch closely. And I'm sure nothing will happen to them, because the President Kagame crossed all the limits. I'm not sure he's going to take another limit by trying to attack them, by trying to do something against them, because they are very brave, they are our heroes. Before we start this conversation, I would like to say thank you to all the people from South Africa. They are brothers. The commitment of the President Ramaphosa to help to build peace in DRC is a good act that Congolese people are watching. And I hope in the coming days we will definitely find a solution of this issue, so we can continue the work to strengthen our economic ties and our partnership.
Is President Tshisekedi attending the SADC meeting in Zimbabwe?
But I don't know yet, because the president is busy following the situation in the ground. But at least if he's not coming himself, he will make sure the DRC is represented, because we know we should make sure with our friends and brothers from SADC, we are at the same level, so we can work to bring back peace in the eastern part of DRC.